Good morning. It's Monday. Happy Monday. Here's another Monday installment of what we got done this weekend. It was mostly nice most of the weekend, so we got a lot of yard work done. Um, let's go over some of what we did here. So this patch behind me is a bunch of honeysuckle bushes, and they were really crazy overgrown, and honestly they were blocking part of the road, like for drivers, like when you drive up, because there's a stop sign down there, you couldn't see past them until you basically were at the stop sign. So we cut back a lot of that on the outside and cut back a lot of it here on the inside. I wanted to leave some of it because A, I love honeysuckle bushes, and B, Watership, the big rabbit, has a little hidey hole in there somewhere. So we want to keep some cover for him, and I want to keep some of the honeysuckle because it smells nice, it looks pretty, I like it. But we just didn't want it to be crazy overgrown, and we didn't want it to be blocking, drivers' views. So it's much smaller now. We cleared out a bunch of distance, and here is all of the dead, well, soon to be dead, honeysuckle branches. All this, we're going to leave it in the yard for a couple days to dry out, and then we can cut it down and put it in the bags to go out in the trash. Other than that, around this area, we found several of these little tiny bush trees. I don't know if you can see this. This is a little evergreen something. It wasn't here last year, and there's a bunch of them around. I found 6 of them so far. A couple of them have obviously been run over at least once with the lawnmower. But I didn't see them last year. I'm not sure if it's because they're getting more sunlight because we've been clearing out some brush, or if it's because they weren't here last year. I'm trying to identify them. A bunch of people online have suggested that it's probably common juniper, which sounds legit. I looked up common juniper, and that seems to be the most likely identification for them. So now I have to decide if I want to keep them and transplant them, because I don't want them where they are, or just get rid of them. One person mentioned that they might be hard to contain. However, I really like the fact that they have edible berries. Apparently juniper berries are what you make gin out of. Well, not that I'm going to be making gin with them, that sounds like a lot of work. But it really fits with my concept of edible landscaping, so I'm going to do a little bit of research on jasper, or common whatever that is, and decide whether or not I want to keep it. Other than that, we've been starting to take care of some of this poison ivy. I've got ridiculous amounts of poison ivy. I don't know if you can see this. Here, let's zoom in on this. See that stupid little poison ivy? And it's all kinds of crazy up in here. All that is poison ivy. All that crap. So I've been working on spraying that with vinegar, because this little area right here, this little circle here, is going to have lavenders in it soon, as soon as I can get rid of that stupid poison ivy. Other than that, I looked around at some of the other known spots for poison ivy, and I didn't see any yet. We did make a lot of good progress last year of killing it and controlling it, so hopefully we got a lot of it gone, at least on the parts that I was really heavy on last year. I'm going to have to be super heavy on that one part this year. And the last thing that we did over the weekend. And when I say we, I mean mostly my boyfriend, because he did almost all of this except for the poison ivy spraying and plant finding. We cleaned up the side of the garage. All this had small bushes, and because this side of the garage was covered in plants and there's no gutter on this side of the garage, it's constantly getting wet whenever it rains. And as you can see, there's a bunch of mildew and mold and little greeneries growing on the side of the wall. So we need to let that dry out. There was 1 or 2 plants right here that I wanted to keep, and he forgot that and cut them down anyway, but whatever. They'll hopefully grow back. If not, we'll replant. Anyway, so here's all that stuff that's going to dry out over the next few days, and hopefully the side of the wall is going to dry out, and we'll be able to put up the gutter after we pull down this ivy. Because it rains, whenever it rains, it drips right across the door, and I constantly get wet just trying to go in the garage. But yeah, that was our weekend. We had a pretty busy, pretty productive weekend for some yard clearing, and it's getting there. We still need to move on, but whatevs. Anyway, happy Monday, and everybody have a good week. Okay, bye!